Welcome, guys, here to Street Life Podcast, where we are here to empower everybody to make a change, whether it's financially, physically, or mentally. We always empower everybody to make a change. And in today's society, we all need to do that, right? Whether young or old, this is our focus. This is our mission to empower everybody that we come in contact with. Now, today I have a good friend of mine. Arnold is here to talk to us today. A little bit about education, right, Arnold? That's what we decided we're going to talk about. What are they teaching? And does it help in the real world? The stuff that they're teaching in school and even in college nowadays, does it really help us when we get out to the real world? First of all, how you been doing, man? I mean, it's been years since I've seen you.
Yeah,
Uh, it's been, I can't even count now, since pandemic seemed like everything's running together. So how's everything
yeah.
been going?
And everything's been great, man. Life's been good to me, just still progressing in my career, trying to move forward in that department of my life, trying to stay
Okay.
healthy, trying to stay active, man, getting back to just living life normally after the pandemic, like you said. Um, so just getting almost back into it.
Good deal, man. I've been, working the same thing. I'm just not getting back in the swing things. Really trying to pick up where we left off, so we can, really see some progress in this mission that we have here. But now, education. How do you feel as though, you come out of high school, a little bit of college and everything. You've got it certified and doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
What have you seen that didn't help you and did help you while you was in school?
Well, I went to public school my whole life. I'm sure you did too, right?
Yeah, I went to public school as well.
Yeah. So from that perspective, man, they teach you a bunch of subjects that I've never used now, right? But
Okay.
I think my and I don't even have a problem with that. Honestly, I know some of it is important. Like you should know it. Uh, so it's not even about what they are teaching. For me, it's more so what they're not teaching. I mean, I think that there's room there to teach financial literacy. There's a subject that they can squeeze in there to, uh, just teach people about things that everyone will encounter: credit cards, debt,
Yeah.
savings, retirement. That's never spoken of. I think that's my biggest issue with it. Of course, there's some of the things that I would wish that they didn't teach, but it's more so about what they're not teaching for me. That's my main problem with it, because none of that stuff was taught to me. And you
Yeah.
might feel differently about me. I don't have kids, but you have children. So
Yeah. I
in
mean,
your
it does play a big part because, you know, I didn't have anybody teach me about, debt and credit, stock market. I didn't get those lessons from nobody else. I had to learn those as I got out of school. Yeah, we
yeah.
did have accountant, but what, teach you how to balance a checkbook? That's
And how many
basically
and how
it.
many and how many checks have you written in your life?
Say that
I've never
again.
written a check. How many
Uh,
checks have you?
when
I've
I
never
first got
written a
my
check.
when I first got my bank account, they had checks, but no, not literally sitting in the store or a grocery store. Balance out my checkbook, write a check, and hand it to somebody. No, it's all
Right.
everything's been digitized now.
Yeah.
On a debit card or whether it's on your phone. So no, I didn't have a reason to write a check.
Right.
But
But that's
even
it. But
then,
you're right. That is the extent of like what they will teach you.
right, right.
And
And I think a lot of it we fall short because I guess they feel as though parents should pick up the slack on it, right? And teach our kids how to hunt, how to home ec, those certain things. Yeah, those are life skills, but even then, like you said, in school, why aren't certain subjects being taught?
Yeah, and I get the point that you should learn it at home. But to be honest, man, some parents, single parents, don't have time, right? They're always busy, and so it seems like some people are teaching it at home, but the ones that are going to suffer are children that come from broken homes, or single families, or things like that don't really have. Their parents may not have the resources because they weren't taught it. So at some point, I feel like that's got to be broken up, and it's got to be taught to them, the people that don't know, because some of the kids nowadays, parents don't know. So how are they supposed to learn it at home?
exactly. So it's just a vicious cycle that we continue. And then
Right.
you have to look at it like this too. You can go to a different part of Georgia or anywhere in Atlanta. Everything's different, especially school wise. It's different in Gwinnett than it is in DeKalb County. Why
Hmm.
is that? They want to say it's the funding, but I think the curriculum should be the same across the board, right? My son attends school in Gwinnett. The things that he learned in Gwinnett, he's not learning in Stockbridge or McDonough. It's certain things. Certain sports are played in different counties that are not played in other counties. Why? Because of financial support. So call it the poverty line, if you will.
Hmm.
It kind of breaks the barrier on how much education your child or the kids will receive.
Yeah, no, I felt it. I went to high school in two different states. So you're talking county to county. I mean, when I moved here in high school, I had never written a research paper ever. I was never asked to do that. And so sophomore year was tough because they're talking about like, do this, things I've never heard of before. And I'm like, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? Like that, because it's different. The education is a lot better. I was fortunate enough to go to Alpharetta High School,
Yeah,
public but great school. But when I was a freshman and I lived in Boston, inner city wasn't the same. So I understand exactly what you're saying about just education being better, but still, the fundamental of not teaching financial literacy is there still. I
yeah,
don't know that any public school or private school for that matter does it.
yeah. And like you said, it comes down to us coming together, right, as a people, really going down and speaking to our superintendents, speaking to the Board of Education about these classes that are not being taught. So now I think it was on the news a while ago. Now they're trying to pass a law where you have the right to say that your kid can't partake in certain classes. I mean, which is all right, but then you figure if we're teaching Black history, you're gonna tell your kid, "Oh, you can't be a part of that class."
Yeah, yeah,
You know, um, we learned about Civil War and all the dead presidents all our lives. What you gonna tell your kid now? They can't partake in this class, or even if it come down to health or physical science, right?
mhm.
Certain things you don't want to be discussed in the class, and you have that right to go and say, "Hey, my child cannot be in there."
Yeah. School seems like it's changed so much from the last time I was in school. I
Yeah,
mean, but you have children, man, who are still young and stuff. Like, I mean, what classes would you say are important for them to learn, or that you think should that are
foreign
not?
language. Foreign language is very important. I mean, that's the wave now. 90% of the United States is on. I mean, made up of foreigners. Not just Spanish alone, but even other languages will help you in whatever career that you want. Just being able to communicate or even grow further in your career, right?
Yep.
Definitely, foreign language is one of them. You need to bring back, wood shop, teaching people how to have a skill when they come out and how to really work with their hands. A lot of it, I believe, a lot of technical classes need to be in the school. Electrical, I mean, they need to offer those. Will they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on what side of town we on.
Yeah, or even just push the trade school as an option because
Right.
college isn't for everybody. Like not everybody needs to go to a 4 year. Some people don't need that. Like some people need to go to a tech school and learn a trade and that'll
Yeah.
work for them, but it's also not really put out there to the forefront, or not that I know of. It just seems like if you don't go to a university you're a fucking loser, and that's like the
Yeah.
stigma.
Yeah.
And so they should definitely promote that more and that there's options, but things like that, I think would go
Yeah.
a long way.
Definitely. It will go a long way, man. Um, I mean, who am I to tell you you have to go to a 4 year institution,
Right,
in order for you to really be successful?
right.
You know, um, it's a lot that we miss when it comes to education. And for them, like I said, you got to take certain classes. You got to take math. You got to take science, which is all right. But then you got literature. You learn to read and write, and you know, which is good enough. But then, I mean, what else are you going to use? I'm not going to use American history. I'm sorry. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to keep up with all the presidents of the United States. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point that the math gets excessive, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're never, unless you're an engineer or something like that, it becomes
right.
excessive. I mean, you don't ever use that in real world.
Nah, I'm not using trigonometry. I'm sorry.
Never, yeah, you just won't, And if
That's
you do need to use trigonometry, I'm sure there's an app for it at this time,
right. There's an app for everything nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You know, like with me, when I translate or even have to deal with somebody that speaks a foreign language, there's an app for everything. I
Yeah,
pull up
and
the app,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
and I type it in. I'm like, here you go. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, there's an app for everything. YouTube has been like the best college out there nowadays, right? YouTube University, you can't go wrong with that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to actually educating our kids, I do believe we need to have these conversations. We need to have more of these conversations with the people in these positions so we can try to get something pushed. But everybody else is, like I said, there's a stigma, and everybody else is comfortable with that lifestyle. And, for the other parents, they want to blame the school for not teaching their kids.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's become watered down nowadays, to tell you the truth, with education. That's how I believe. Education has really become watered down. They have accepted what they call broken English, what we call slang. They call ebonics. Um, I mean, there's commercials about it. They've accepted it. Like it's all right to teach your kids broken English. And when they go to have a conversation or an interview with somebody, or even talk with people out there in the real world, you're not able to, converse back and forth
Oh
without
yeah.
all the other unnecessary words.
Well, everybody is stuck on their phone, man. Like, I mean, I think especially now, kids like shit. My nephew just turned 11 or something and got an iPhone for his birthday. It's like that's crazy, right? Because back in the
Right.
day, shit, that just wasn't happening until you were like 18 or something, or 16 at
Exactly.
least. Like it started getting younger, but now everybody has a phone and they're always on their phone. Like he's when we're at dinner and stuff, he's playing football games on his phone. Like he literally doesn't know how to just be social and just
Yeah.
like put it down and converse right now. It's a family and we're not together every day, but you're on
Yeah.
Madden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in real life, they don't know how to have those conversations.
No, because technology is taking the place of the communication aspect, right? You think about it. We no longer have to sit here and talk to you. I can just type in a couple of words. It says what I needed to say, and I send it right off to you.
Yeah,
And then
you know,
it just kills the whole social vibe altogether. And I've seen it. I've seen people go out, they sit at the table, they all together, and everybody's on their phone. Nobody's talking to nobody. So you're on a date. Why did you guys come out if you're not going to speak to each other?
yeah,
I mean,
man. Like back in the day, I had to talk to girls. Now you don't even have to talk. There's an app for that. It's called Tinder. Like so. It's like you don't even have
hey,
to do that anymore.
look, I like you, you like me. Let's let's hook up.
Emojis. It's all emojis now. It's not
Yeah,
even a real
yeah.
word in there. Yeah.
No verbal expression whatsoever. But I think that also kills our way of dealing with things on how to express our feelings. So now we don't longer know how to express it. We do it through like I said, through an app.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
easier, man. It's always easier to hide behind a screen. You can
thank
type and
you.
delete and fix it and make it perfect, and then think about hitting send.
Yeah,
That's different,
yeah.
bro. Back then, you had one take, man. You know what I mean? Like, I need your best line right now. It's not that way anymore.
It's not
Yeah,
that
man.
easy, man. But we need to bring it back, though. We need to bring it back. We need to cut the phones off. We need to have more dialogue. We need to, be able to reach out, like I said, to your nephew. When you're around him, hey, let's chill out for a minute. Even if you're playing video games, hey, how your day going? Make him have a conversation. A
Yeah.
lot of people just don't know how to do that anymore. It's just one or two words, and everybody just short. Oh, good, fine, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the
Well,
fun in that? I mean, give me a story. Tell me something that happened.
right. Yeah, and not only just kids, man. I know I'm guilty of it sometimes too. You know what I mean? Of just being on the phone too often. Like I had to delete Instagram, man. You know, iPhone will tell you your usage and stuff, your screen
Yeah,
time, and
yeah,
it'll break it down to like social media. And I'm just like, that shit is such a distraction and honestly just a waste of my time. Like I love a good meme just like the next person, man. They're funny. You know what I mean? Like
right.
but I
Yeah,
could
of
look at
course.
I could look at memes all day, you know, and it
Yeah,
was taken away from being productive. I was like, nah, I shut it down, man. I deleted the app and then I got my new screen usage time and it's I was on the phone way less and I was doing things differently. I would wake up in the morning. One time I caught myself and I went to my phone and I was like, oh, the app is deleted. Let me put my phone down, chill out for a second, think
find
about
something else to do.
whatever. Like I just woke up. You know what I mean? Like let me just lay here and chill. And
Right.
that felt different, bro. Like it was a different state of mind that I was in. And all it
Yeah,
took was just not jumping on the app. And so it was refreshing. So I'm guilty of it too, man. Just like the next person, I see it
yeah,
more from kids, younger kids, but I think we all do it, man. Technology is so convenient. It's hard not to do.
yeah. It just sucks you in, right? And that's all it does.
Nah.
It just sucks you in and it distracts you from what you really need to be doing or what you could be doing. It's just like kids not going outside anymore. It's unheard of. You know, half the time you don't see any kids, if one or two. But if you just take something away from them, you are forced to find something else to do. You're forced to find a replacement to entertain that space that you have, that void.
Yeah, man. But I think that's why depression is at an all time high, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
with
yeah,
children and kids, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, like kids are killing themselves now. Like bullied isn't new. We all, you know, bullying was around forever, but like kids are fragile now. I think,
Oh
man.
yeah,
And
and then
you
especially
know,
with all the memes and like you said with the Instagram and all the social media, you say something bad, everybody knows about
yeah, don't let it go viral on TikTok because now you're really fucked. You know?
it. Exactly.
Now you
So
got to change schools and everything. Yeah.
friends, the whole nine, cut it down and start all over. Yeah,
hmm
but it hurts, man. Like I said, but we have to start it somewhere though. We have to start, and it's not getting any better because I mean, the more you see, there's more apps coming out. There's different things, other social media platforms that everybody's getting into. I don't know all of them. It was just a couple of years ago. I just got an Instagram page. You know, I was
Yeah.
always dealing with Facebook. And then I really go on there. I don't post much. I just look at stuff. I mean, like a page, but that's it. I can't really just sit there and hold the phone all day and just
Yeah.
look at social media constantly all day. I never get anything done.
Exactly. You get sucked in, man. You start following the right accounts and shit. Like you start getting your news from there. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
don't watch the news. I know the news. You know, if I log on, it's there. And
yeah,
um, so you get sucked in because some of it is relevant information, but mixed in there, you're gonna get that information. You're gonna see two girls twerking. You know, for like a few slides. And so that will distract you. Now you're in a rabbit hole, you know,
right,
just like
right. You following
so,
this person like what? Hey,
right,
how you
exactly.
doing?
Like, whoa, I thought this was about Russia, you know?
Hey, right.
Yeah.
Basically a setup anyway. So I mean, a lot of people get caught up into it, and um, I really don't have the answers. Like I said, I really don't. Right, and it's sad to say that our education process is really falling victim to it because it's not getting any better. Kids got laptops; they're able to. Don't have a problem with virtual learning, but like you said, it goes back to what we're teaching, what what's going to benefit them later on in life.
Yeah, exactly.
They
And
don't carry
if
books
that's
anymore.
what's important,
Kids are not really
if that's
writing
the
their
only
own
thing,
reports. Kids are not really writing their own reports anymore. They're just, paste and copy.
yeah.
So,
Well, no, there's an app for that too, where they will like,
are you
well, they'll
serious?
figure it out. Yeah, they'll figure it out. The teachers like you turn it into a thing, and you can't plagiarize openly like that. It'll find it. It's obvious in the writing and shit like that.
Right, right, right.
No, but I think if the most important thing is just doing what's best for the kids, I
Yeah,
think it's not even debatable that we should teach them about taxes and that we should teach them how credit cards work and how dangerous they are and how to properly manage debt. how to invest, different options, what an IRA is, and what a 401k, and different options. And those I think are way more relevant to your future success. That's something that
Yeah,
everybody will use forever. Like everybody's going to get a credit card at some point,
yeah,
and if you're not taught not to max it out because that interest rate is going to kill you long
yeah,
term, and
yeah.
that the minimum payments aren't going to do anything for you, then it's
It just
dangerous.
goes straight to the. It just goes straight to the principal. You still got all of this to deal with.
Yeah. The next thing you know, man, you owe $50,000, and that's going to hinder you forever. Unless you file for bankruptcy or whatever, and just lose your assets, or if you have assets, if what it takes to buy a home, what credit is, and how to take care of your credit. I think
How
there
to save money.
we can fit that into a class that
Right.
everybody has to take to graduate. Um, and it'll go a long way, man.
Yeah.
Like
And then they got
I,
even tickets for like stock markets. They got an app for it where you can practice trading. So I understand and I totally agree with it. You can fit this into an 8 hour day in one of these curriculums. We can get rid of certain things that we don't need. We don't need
right.
chorus. I don't need to be in a chorus class. Why am I doing that? I don't sing. It's not mandatory for me to sing. I'd rather
Yeah,
learn how to invest.
exactly. I would rather know how to properly do my taxes, or just a financial literacy class. And on that subject, you could fit a bunch of stuff into it because a lot of stuff fits into that financial literacy. I mean,
Wrap it underneath accounting class. Bring back accounting and just break it down into a semester if you would. I mean, hey,
right. And then, especially, man, I think that as kids, that's when you grasp the most information. Like you could teach your son right now 4 languages in a year. He'll learn them, bro. He's a sponge. As you get
yes,
older, you don't learn as quick. You forget things more. And so just at that age, I think it's crucial, and I think,
right.
the only point against that is, parents should be teaching it at home. I understand that, man. I fully understand that, but not all the kids are that fortunate. So why not just make it a class where everybody has to take it and ensure that everybody's at least been introduced to it? Even if kids don't pay attention, you're always going to have the kids that don't pay attention. But when they hear it next time in their life, they can at least pull back on that and uh, remember what was taught. Uh,
Yeah, I
'Cause,
totally agree, man. I appreciate the conversation. It's been a long time that I haven't seen you, man. Like I said, we need to have more of these conversations. But it was good. So I hope this message really gets out to everybody else. If you'd like to drop me a message, you can always email me at streetlifepodcast@gmail.com. Al, Arnold, I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with me, man. We're going to do
yeah,
this
bro.
again. We'll have a part two. We'll come up with something else we need to talk about and help our people, help everybody, right?
Yeah,
So
man. I appreciate you having me on, man. And you're a dad, so maybe you could send it up the chain with the school board at these meetings, man. That these kids need to learn more about that stuff, man. You
all
start
right, man. Appreciate
that.
it. But for the next time, guys, we're gonna get on out of here. So keep on striving and keep on pushing.